A major conference is outlining contingency strategies and including all of the cultures within the Turks and Caicos. United Nations officials have been here since Monday for the conference being held at the Regent Palms. Angie Toussaint has the latest.
There are major threats to this part of the region. They include hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, mudslides, major epidemics, and in some parts even volcanoes. Many of these natural disasters, according to scientists in a 3-day workshop at the Regent Palms, say cannot be diminished, but the effects and the plans for disaster management can be asserted by government to assure a reduction in the loss of lives and in infrastructure whenever a major natural disaster threatens the region.
You have to ensure that regulations are put in place to ensure that people do not build too close to the water line, to ensure that added protection are provided, to ensure that these facilities have plans in place that will protect their guests during an emergency. So there's a lot we can do.
Scientists say that geographically this region faces major hazards, but as nations that are so vulnerable, each country should establish protocols for risk management. Scientists say that the Turks and Caicos should do more to ensure that lives and property are not damaged in light of a disaster.
It's what we do to ensure that they can be sustained, that they can be viable, that, lives are not lost and properties are not lost. Now, in that regard, I'm not pleased, but I'm not pleased anywhere I see in the Caribbean, whether it be Jamaica. Barbados is doing a lot, but there's a lot more that can be done. My concern here is that we're having these developments without the appropriate plans in place, and we need those plans. We really need them.
Lorna Innes, Deputy Director at the Coastal Zone Management in Barbados, agreed that yes, there is more Caribbean nations can do, and this needs to be emphasized by policymakers.
The policymakers, once they understand that any decision they make, they are balancing economic development and bringing foreign exchange income in with the risk associated and the vulnerability associated with building a hotel right on the beach.
She said the biggest problems with developers is finding that balance between safe buildings, attractiveness to guests, and being environmentally friendly. Innes said that the region has drastically improved.
Your planning policies. We need as small islands that are vulnerable. Just because we're small islands, we're vulnerable. The thing is to identify what our vulnerabilities are and to recognize them. In every part of our planning policy, we need to keep our vulnerabilities in mind.
The team of delegates from different cultures and different disaster experiences throughout the region are scheduled to voyage to North and Middle Caicos for a tour of the coastal zones. This will be one of the first steps to outlining the vulnerable areas of the Turks and Caicos and establishing some sort of initiative to protect them, the country, and the people. For WIV4 News, I'm Angie Toussaint.